Morning, everyone. Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. Wait for a few people to jump on. I'm in St. Johns County, Florida, which is just south of Jacksonville. St. Augustine. Aiden Fucci. Aiden Fucci is going to be tried in this building here today. Jury selection begins today. Aiden Fucci. Google Aiden Fucci. So, a tragedy occurred in this county. A young 14-year-old fatally stabbed his classmate, a 13-year-old girl, Tristan Bailey, over 100 times. 114 times it's been reported. And there's media here. I'm going to give you an outside perspective of the courthouse. I'm actually going to go in during jury selection. It's a big building here, so I'm going to turn the camera around to show you an outside perspective of what this courthouse looks like. How's the reception? Is the reception okay here? I know that I got a decent amount of bars here, so I'm assuming it's good. But this is the south side of the courthouse here. This is where people will be entering. I've seen, it looks like potential jurors already going in, and there was media over there already with cameras set up. I don't see a heavy media presence here. I'll take you to the front door. So these are prohibited from coming in. That's standard, right? And there was a line out here this morning. The line went all the way out to about here of, I'm assuming, potential jurors. Courthouse probably opened, or they could have been courthouse employees, because the courthouse opens at 8 a.m. So for curious people, this is called the Richard O. Watson Judicial Center Courthouse. You see they got a sign here for the jurors because they're going to have a juror there. See, that's the protocol to go in. So this is a nice big building. So there's not much action out here. Not many media. There is some media over there. There was a few cameras. I guess they went in. So I don't know if this is going to get. I'm sure there's there's going to be a press pool assigned in there that will be broadcasting this case live while it's happening. Now, a couple things I find interesting is, well, one, he's being tried as an adult. So this crime occurred when he was 14 years old. She was 13. He's being tried as an adult. Now, the St. John's Detention Center, where I believe he's being held at, and he's been held since his arrest, is right next door to this courthouse. Matter of fact, I'm going to walk this way and see if we can catch it, because I saw that coming in. I saw the entire detention center, or jail, or you want to call it the county jail. I'll show you what a St. John's sheriff's vehicle looks like. These are like traditional Florida sheriff vehicles. Most county sheriffs in Florida, the sheriff's vehicles look like this. So it's a big complex. That was the south side. Actually, the courthouse is over here, but they're telling people they have to enter via the south side. So I'm going to go to the north side. But the detention center where he's being held is next door. It's next door, so I don't think it. I think they just load him up in a van, but it's not like a couple of last court hearings I've been going to with the Alec Murdaugh in South Carolina, Walterboro, where Murdaugh was brought to the side of the courthouse and basically brought outside and walked, a little bit on that sidewalk. And Richard Allen in Delphi, Indiana, same thing. He arrived outside the courthouse and then was just like, walking a little bit outside into the courthouse. Those two last cases that I followed, it doesn't look like that's the case here. It looks like Aiden would be ushered in through maybe a back sally port or back guarded area. And here in the court annex. See if there's any. See, and I don't see much media here, believe it or not. So I don't know. I don't see there's one of our sheriffs. So this would probably be the north entrance. So that would be the north entrance there. So they're not letting people come in the north. You got to come through the south if you're going to come and attend the trial. Over there is the jail. Over there is the jail. So it doesn't, and it looks like people that arrive, like inmates that arrive, would come over here behind the gate, and then, so you can't, see them. I think they would come through here, maybe right here. This would be the entrance for prisoners or transport people would probably go through there. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So it's a fortified fortress. So let's go back to Aiden being 14 years old, 13, Tristan, the victim, being, 13. What's your position on juveniles that, whether they're under 18, what's your position on juveniles being tried as an adult? Because they're trying him as an adult. So the penalty, if found guilty, case seems very, very strong, by the way, if you read the affidavit of probable cause with this case. But what's your position on an adult or juvenile being charged as an adult for a crime? Do you think he should be tried as an adult? Do you think he should be tried as a juvenile? If he was tried as a juvenile and committed the crime, he probably would have got out at 21 years old. I believe he's 16 years old now. But they're trying him as an adult. Now, we've also been hearing, and I don't know if you're aware, so since he's been in jail for the last couple of years, he's had a lot of problems in the jail system, fighting with other inmates fighting with him. I think he's had numerous disciplinary issues. I believe the prosecution, the way I'm reading it, is going to use that against him, his behavior while he was in pretrial detention, going to be using that against him. So I'm hearing, yeah, he should be tried as an adult. And I in this particular instance, yeah, I think he should, based off the affidavit, and and his mom was helping him too, allegedly. His mom is charged with, she's not charged with the same, but his mom's charged with other, like helping him and aiding and abetting type of crimes. I don't know which actual charge she's charged with, but assisting him in a sense. But over 100 times, I mean, that's somebody like that would do that to another human being doesn't deserve to ever be free. I would think differently if it was like, like he stabbed her one time and it was something, argument or something like that, then you would think, okay, well, there might be more to it, or passion crime, or just an argument that got out of the hand and somebody unfortunately perished. But when you do somebody 114 times, like stabs, I mean, you have pure evil in you, and you have pure rage. And, I don't think someone should ever be free. I'm actually going to go over to where the victim was found. It was by a retention pond. It's probably about 10 miles north of here, so I'm going to make some videos later and go up that way and check out. And I'm also going to wait for any of the victims' families, or any, maybe Aiden's family, anyone that comes here attends the trial. Usually with trials, you got the family members of victims, supporters of the victims, curiosity seekers. I'm going to see who is here while I'm here. But I'm back out in the front. No action going on out here, so no action. So you'll see it on TV. It might get a lot of publicity on TV, but there's really nothing going on out here at this time. Yeah, the fact that the mom did, she's gonna face some time too, most likely. I don't know, is they gonna use the mom? Prosecutor gonna try to get the mom to flip on the son, last minute plea deal or something, testify, save your own butt. But here it is. Here's the entrance. Oh, another thing too is, I read that the judge is is open-minded if they can't select a jury from here to actually move the trial out of this county. But as you see, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of buzz going on about this case. I've been to lots of other court cases around the country, and it's media circus. I've been to a lot of trials in DC, political trials held at the federal courthouse. Bill Cosby trial, there was just people lined up all over the place. I can't even think of other trials that I've attended offhand. But usually, even Alec Murdaugh, who's facing trial, facing trial 200 miles to the north, there was lots of people outside, but don't see it here. Do not see it here. So but I'm going to do a report. So I'm also covering the Brian Kohlberger case in Moscow, Idaho, right? And I'm going to do a little comparison to this guy here, Brian Kohlberger. Both used the knife, and it was in the middle of the night. But with Brian Kohlberger, my belief with Brian Kohlberger is he killed before, right? He killed before. I think that wasn't his first rodeo. I think he's done something, and I think authorities should definitely look into unsolved stabbings, unsolved crimes, going back all the way to Brian Kohlberger was 13, 14 years old. I say that because, like in this particular case, 13 and 14-year-olds and 15-year-old people can do these type of evil acts. There are young people arrested in this country for doing bad acts while they were that young. So it goes back to Kohlberger. Yeah, he being in his late 20s doing the crime in Moscow, but I definitely think authorities should, search and investigate unsolved crimes in the Pennsylvania area. So, all right, I'm going to sign off in a minute, and then I'm going to go in there and see. But I get to see this guy. Yeah, you can't get the death penalty. There's something else interesting too. I think it was, I want to say the Strickland case, the Supreme Court with the Strickland case. It was one of these cases, but I believe that the United States Supreme Court said that juveniles that commit, or people that commit crimes as juveniles, even if they're tried as an adult, cannot get life sentences. I believe that. They definitely can't get the death penalty. But life sentences, I believe they have to get a certain number. And I want to say that's the Strickland. I forget what case, but I think it was like no more juvenile. Definitely juveniles can't get life sentences, but juveniles that are tried as adults, I don't believe they can get life sentences once convicted. I think the judge would have to give them, yeah, of course they can get 50, 60, 70 years. They have to give them a number. They have to give them an actual number, I believe, and that was the case a few years back. So I don't know if juveniles can get life in prison anymore, but it's more or less once he's found guilty, which, he will be. He's going to spend many, 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 many decades in prison for this. I saw the surveillance footage of him running through the neighborhood at night. Use the knife. Use the knife. Fucci. F-U-C-C-I. Google it. Aiden Fucci. Tristan Bailey. Now, this very well could be family members of the victims coming in here. But I don't. Well, it most likely is probably jurors coming in. But this is it. Yeah, he's demonstrated juvenile cockiness. I think he thinks he's some sort of like hero and star and no remorse. That's a lot of maturity that the guy's going to have to do. And unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be a problem when he goes to prison eventually in the Florida state prison systems. That he's probably going to, what we say, click up, probably start getting the jailhouse tats and getting involved with all kinds of, prison gang type lifestyle. I doubt we're going to hear about this guy, getting a degree and trying to change his life while he's in jail. And but it's never too late to turn to God. Some do it, but he's a juvenile, and he's going to have to do that in a sense because it's a front too. Because the older inmates, when he goes to jail, he's going to be like, when he goes to prison, they're going to prey on him, and he's going to have to prove himself. And I seen it too when I was in the prison system. I went to federal prison when I was 23, and I seen a bunch of young people come in, and they definitely get preyed on, and then the young people try to do dumb stuff to others to make a name for themselves so they don't get messed with. And it's just a bad cycle, you know. And I've seen like people go through the system and then they get totally corrupted in the federal prison system. It takes a long time to change. They're working on the building here. I'll come back in a little bit. Live out here. I'm gonna go in there and see what's up. So I don't know if I can bring a camera in there. We'll see what's up. So I'll keep you updated. Plus, stay tuned to my channel. I'm gonna go to the spot where Tristan was found. I'm gonna go to the exact spot. I know where that's at. So I'll be out here. Everyone be safe. God bless. Justice for the victims and their families.